Yikes, guys. RFK Jr. has one of the worst takes on Palestine-Israel situation. Absolutely sits on the Jimmy Dore show and propagandizes everyone, telling them basically the fake lies and the fake news and the fake truths about the Israel-Palestine situation. And I'm going to try to debunk it in real time. I'm glad that Jimmy Dore recognized that this is basically propaganda. He's challenged RFK Jr. to debate Black Max Blumenthal on the Palestine situation. So at least I'm not the only one that realizes how much of a propagandizing segment this was. It was absolute lies. RFK Jr. just absolutely sat there spitting out the Israel regime's talking points for them. Absolutely terrifying. Let's go ahead and show you guys some of these parts, and I'm going to try to debunk them in real time.
I immediately thought, if Israel's going to drop a nuclear bomb, you don't even support America unconditionally. You're against the Iraq war, you're against Libya, you're against right now the Ukraine war. So you don't support. So what did you mean by that?
I meant the special relationship that we have now, which Biden was threatening to end.
First of all, that tweet is absolutely terrifying. We absolutely stand with Israel no matter what. Imagine somebody says that about Russia right now. They would sound insane. I stand with Russia no matter what. For some reason, America and the politicians in America, there are certain countries they're 100% allowed to support, and then there's other countries they cannot support in any way, or the media will absolutely demolish them. Biden administration extends U.S. habit of interfering in other countries' domestic policies. Now threatening Israel with the ending of the special relationship between our two nations. As president, my support for Israel will be unconditional. Terrifying, guys. Yikes. Unconditional support for Israel. If he said that about Russia, if he can say that about Ukraine, but if he said that about Russia, whoa, be careful, guys. So just notice that America has certain legacy countries that they take care of for some reason. And that's where these politicians come. That's their job, is to push this propaganda, push these lies about these countries, and add support from the people for those countries. So let's listen to some of his propaganda. Already this is terrifying that he has unconditional support for Israel. What about Palestine? Where's your unconditional support for Palestine? No mention of that nation even in this tweet. Absolutely scary, guys. Just fumbled the ball with this take, guys. Absolutely horrible take.
I immediately thought
Israel not probably, but Israel has the best judiciary in the world. It's better than ours, and it's more humane. It is the only country in the world that outright forbids torture, even in the ticking time bomb scenario. It's the only judiciary that's actually specifically addressed the ticking time bomb scenario.
You know why they outlawed the torture? Because they now can kill on command. If a soldier is in some Palestinian dude's house and that Palestinian dude's screaming, he's yelling, he's moving his hands, he's allowed to shoot him. We've seen Israeli defense or offense soldiers and forces murder journalists, no repercussions, being supported by their own government and by their own people. They don't need to torture anyone. And what do you mean they don't torture? They literally pick up kids from the middle of the street for being a kid and put them in jail. If that's not torture, I don't know what torture is. Do you need to do anything for them inside the jail? I don't think so. Just shoving them in jail is torture. So these guys are just changing the definition of what torture is. For me, putting somebody in jail for no reason whatsoever is torture, especially as a kid. And this is happening daily in Palestine. And I can't believe he just jumps over that situation, acts like that doesn't even exist there. Bro, I'll bring you 100 reports. There's a journalist that just died, shot in the head. I totally blanked out on her name right now, but Shireen, I'll never forget. Man, they murder kids all the time. They don't need to torture. They have complete legal authority to walk into Palestinians' house, take their homes from them. If the Palestinian fights or screams, they can shoot them to death. They can pick up kids from the street. Palestine doesn't even have a military force. They don't have a police force. They literally have no defenses. There's just the Israel Defense Force just absolutely demolishing random civilians, random Palestinians. Absolutely scary, guys. This is crazy that RFK Jr. is 100% supportive of Israel over all of their war crimes against Palestine. It's just signaling that this guy is not serious. I mean, maybe he's serious about the COVID-19 thing, up until he gets a big check from the pharmacist. Plus, is that even a big issue right now, COVID-19? For him to act like he cares so much about it, no wonder that's his main point is COVID-19, because it's not really a big issue no more. Oh, we don't trust the government. You guys need to vote for me so you can trust the government because I'll be trustworthy. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to act as if he's trustworthy by hitting the fake news points. The points that the government feels like are conspiracy theories, but for some reason he's not wavering whatsoever on support of Israel, telling me that he gets a lot of money from them. He's aiming to get a lot more support, and possibly, as you can see from his tweets, he's going to still further support Israel within his own tenure, which is not good at all. That's in foreign policy. He was good on Ukraine, but he sucks when it comes to the Middle East. That's absolutely horrifying to listen to.
Yeah, so you have a terrorist who you've caught, who you knows there's a bomb that's going to kill tens of thousands of civilians.
Man, this is a movie, man. This is not daily life in Gaza, man.
Case you cannot do, and the Israel judiciary has said even in that case you cannot torture him. No other judiciary in the world says that. The Israel judiciary has, there's...
What about Operation Breaking Dawn? They literally felt maybe there was a terrorist inside the residential building. Poof! 50 people injured, the whole building down, 23 dead, including Ala Qaddoum, 5-year-old. A whole residential building dropped down to the ground because they thought there was a terrorist in there, and they said they got him. And murdered over 20 people. 50 of them were injured. This is a residential apartment complex they just brought down. Just, if I show you the pictures, guys, half of the building was just gone. This guy, they don't need to torture. Living in Gaza is torture.
I think 3 of the 12 Supreme Court justices are Palestinians. There are Palestinian judges all over, as there are legislatures, and it's guaranteed, full participation of Palestinians in the electoral process. There's 1.9 million Palestinians in Israel who vote. They elect legislatures. They're represented in the judiciary, and they can practice freedom of religion. It's the only place in the Mideast where they guarantee protection for gays. There was a
who cares?
Pride parade 2 weeks ago.
Bro, there's literally Palestinians dying down the street. He's like, well, they protect the gays. Bro, holy moly, talk about missing the point. I like that Jimmy Dore's just letting him talk, just letting him dig himself in a bigger hole.
150,000 people.
Holy shit, imagine acting as if Israel is good because they protect the gays and they let women go to work and they put the women in the army. What the fuck are you talking about? Are you insane? Do you even... It's like saying, oh, America's great. It's not a slave nation, even though you cannot survive right now at $12 an hour and the minimum wage is at $7.25. That's not a slave nation. You can work if you want to, as if you can exist without work. Right now, we have the most amount of homelessness ever existed because of the highest amount of inflation. Acting as if America has no issues is ridiculous. Wouldn't you agree? So how can he act like Israel is amazing just over gay rights? Imagine I say, oh, America has so many gay rights though. Yeah. It does have the highest amount of homeless people in the world. Yeah, it has the most amount of prosecuted and imprisoned populations in the world. Yeah, half the population has insane amounts of suicides. The male population has insane amounts of suicides, insane rates. Well, Japan is worse, so who cares? America still loves the gays, That's crazy! You're insane.
In Israel, in Tel Aviv, and in Jerusalem. At the same time, in Iran, they were hanging gays from cherry pickers. It's the only place where women have full rights. It's the
Bro, in Palestine, where in Iran is Iranians walking around, going to people's houses, taking the home, and shooting the guy that's yelling in the middle of the night because they woke up to a freaking gun nozzle in their face. This is the reality in Palestine every single day. They're being raided in their homes every single day, but this guy's like, well, Iran, they executed the gay dude. Bro, because he's doing gay porn probably, or he's doing it in public. Yeah, you can't do it in public, but nobody gives... You know how many gay people are in Iran? You think they're going to execute every single one? Are you ridiculous? But they're going to kill every single Palestinian. I'm telling you, that's the law over there. It's against Palestinians.
It's the only place where Palestinians can legally complain about their government with no fear of reprisal. So anywhere else, including the West Bank, if you complain about the extremely corrupt governments in the West Bank or Gaza, you risk your life and you'll face torture and death. So the judiciary in Israel is unique in the world. It's also said you can't pressure people putting pressure on their family. You can't pressure terrorists in that way at all.
I have a feeling that happens all the time, though. I mean, again,
but you can go to jail for it.
But I'm not right. But I'm not I'm not an expert.
And you can sue people for it.
Okay. So I get your defense of Israel.
Oh yeah, but I'm not, and I'm not saying that I'm not going to oppose, and I'm co-signing, every.
So
policy.
you don't mean unconditional?
No, I don't mean, and I mean unconditional because we give $3.5 billion to Israel every year. Now we give $2.3 billion to Egypt, which has no human rights, and we give $1 billion to Jordan, which has no human rights, and we give $800 million a year. The Palestinian Authority, which uses that money to pay bounties to Palestinians who kill Jews, not government.
Crazy. He's just pushing propaganda, guys. As if the Israel is not... You taking all the money that's funneled from America and just buying weapons and military operations to murder more Palestinians. Bro, and take more land. Who is he? Who does he think he can, lie to in this segment? This is crazy. I can't believe Jimmy Dore actually let him just speak this nonsense, guys. Don't worry, I'm here to absolutely dismantle this kind of propaganda. Wow.
So if you go to Israel and if you kill a Jew anywhere in the world and you're a Palestinian...
Look at this. He's talking about the judicial system. No outcome from an Israeli court can ever be considered fair or legitimate. No place for justice in the Israeli legal system. These are stories every single day. The Palestinians do not get any legal authority. It's like a 95% loss rate. Like they lose 95% of the cases that are being brought up again. 95% of the cases that are brought up by Palestinians are just dismissed or fail. So this is absolutely crazy that he's acting that the Israeli judicial system is fair.
The Palestinian Authority will pay you money for that, and they will.
I don't know enough to push back on this.
So I know. I think there's this narrative, and particularly on the liberal left, that says that that portrays Israel as a kind of occupying nation sitting on a Palestinian land, and the whole thing is a lie from start to bottom. And let me just tell you a little bit about the history. Israel and Jordan were part of what was called the British Mandate when the Ottoman Empire, in 1922, when the Ottoman Empire collapsed after World War I, we went to war. The Palestinians were on the side of the Ottoman Empire against the Allies.
Oh my God, this guy went back to the Ottoman Empire! What is that, like 1600, 1700 after Christ? Bro, he went back 300 years. Just to bring... Oh my God.
Jews were on our side. There were more Jews in Palestine.
He went back 300 years to act like Palestinians were bad. As if there was no Jews. There was no Islam. What the fuck is he talking about? It was literally Christian. It was literally Hitler versus... Or what was it? No, before Hitler. Man, I think it was Hitler. The World War I was Hitler.
Palestine at that time.
No, sorry. No. We're talking about World War I. That was the World War II. Never mind. We're Ottoman Empire, World War I, guys. World War I.
Palestinians. But at the end, the Ottoman Empire disappears. And so there's a lot of land that is part of the Ottoman Empire. And the question is, what do you do with that land? Woodrow Wilson and the League of Nations said, what we're going to do is we're going to give it to whoever lives there. Whoever lives on that land now.
Bro, what the fuck is he talking about? We're just going to give it to whoever... Bro, are you insane? This is the colonialist mindset. They're like, oh, look, there's people there. Might as well have this land. Oh, you know what? I don't like... you know what? Let's get rid of these people. We'll give it to these randos over here to act as if there was a Jewish population in Palestine is as big as it is now is insane. To act as in the Jews deserve Palestine because they were born there or something. He had to propagandize. You had to make you hate Palestinians. He had to put Palestinians with the Ottoman Empire just so you can hate them. But that's amazing. That's the first time he's actually mentioned Palestine in name as a sovereign country. And then he backtracks quickly. He's like, well, there used to be some people in that land. Maybe they were Palestinians. I don't know. Anyways, they were like, let's just give it to whoever we want.
It's the sovereign of their own country. Well, they took Palestine, and they said, there's half the people, a little over half are Jews, a little under half are Arabs. So we're going to cut it in two, and we're going to give half part of the Jews.
Crazy speaking. Yo, he's fucking lying to you. If it was half Jew, half Arab, it was after World War I, not before.
Part of the Arabs. But there was so much anti-Jewish, anti-Semitic bigotry at that time that they gave 4/5 of it to the Arabs and 1/5 to the Jews. Just a tiny slit.
Because there was no Jews. There was literally
for 9 miles across to the Jews. Tiny, tiny little piece of land with their sacred sites that were not Muslim sacred sites ever.
Bro, there was no Palestinian in Palestine. There's no Muslim secret site. There's not a single mosque. In all of Palestine, there's not a single mosque. Yo, this is insane. Yo, this is the guy you guys were cheering on?
So, that was the original distribution.
Why do they own the right of that distribution? That was a lie that there was 50% of Palestine was Jews. If that happened, it was after all these Jews came from Europe, and you guys put them in Palestine on purpose so you can own that piece of land because it was a very strategical geographical position, and you wanted to infiltrate the region in a way, and you wanted to keep control of the infiltrated region. After you infiltrate the Ottoman Empire using your psyops, now you want physical infiltration, and that's what you were able to do with Palestine. To act as in there was so many Jews and that Jews lived in Palestine with the Arabs. I could say there was maybe, I'll give you 5%, 10% of the population was Jewish. You are trying to say 50%? That's insane. This guy's crazy. Even in Syria, the neighbor of Palestine in that time, less than 1% Jewish population in Syria. You're gonna tell me that in that era there was all of those Jews in Palestine, less than 1% of them were in Syria, down the street 3 hours away? BS. BS. This is complete lies, guys. I can't believe you guys are propagandized by this dude. That's crazy.